you for being here, and I have the privilege again this year to be the moderator. I would like to begin with a small prayer that is universal across cultures and religions. It's called the Serenity Prayer. For those who know it, can recite it with me, and I will start with it. It's called the Serenity Prayer. God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot control, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. This prayer connects to Stoicism, which is the core of resilience, our subject, and adaptability, which we are about to explore with our panelists, lovely panelists. How would you define the relationship between collaboration, adaptability, and innovation? And why are they critical in today's fast evolving world? We can start with Adora. You have here.
Okay. Thank you. Right. I'm getting older. You need to repeat that question again.
What defines the relationship between collaboration, innovation, and adaptability, and why it's very important in today's fast evolving world?
Okay, so the first thing I would say is, and I will start with distinguishing resilience and perseverance, okay? Because a lot of times when people think, I know you didn't ask about resilience, but I'll tell you what the connection is. When people think of resilience, they think about people being very strong. Oh, you're so resilient. Oh, yes. You're in the face of adversity. That's perseverance, okay? A very key thing about resilience is actually adaptability, okay? Your ability to adapt in times of adversity. Okay, so I'm bringing it something there. So collaboration, you mentioned as well. A key part of resilience is actually being able to connect with other people in the face of diversity as well. So I see, how does this all fit in? We are here, UR3, we're talking about resilience, but people think it's about being strong by yourself. Resilience has nothing to do with your own strength. The only thing it has to do is your own adversity. Yes, you're facing the adversity, but it has nothing to do with your strength. It has everything to do with your connectedness with purpose. So knowing yourself in terms of your beliefs, your purpose, your, making meaning out of it, and your ability to garner support, help, collaborate. Yeah. So, and of course, if you're able to adapt, then you can come up with solutions.
Of course.
If you're able, then you can be creative. You can't be creative if you're not able to connect with other people, you're not able to collaborate with other people, and then you also have to be very optimistic. Because a big part of creativity is optimism, believing that there's going to be a way. But if you're already down in the dumps, already thinking, I think it was the last speaker, Madam, she said something about your self-talk. So if you're pessimistic, you're already speaking negatively, you already believe it's not going to work, trust me, it's not going to work. So a big part of creativity, collaboration, adaptability,
saying this, do you
relate,
think that
yes.
Do you have a mantra, for example, for yourself that you say every day that everybody can also beneficial from it?
Oh, that's a very good one. One thing I notice about myself, which people, it might not be obvious, I pray a lot. I don't realize that I never realized that I pray so much during the day. Like I'm always praying to myself. I always say, I'm a Christian, so I always say, God help me. Jesus help me. Give me peace. Give me rest. I keep, it's, maybe there's a verse in the Bible that says, pray without ceasing. And because I heard it so long ago, I just kept it. So for me, I'm in constant, in my mind, at the back of my mind, I just believe that my ever-present help, just help me.
Sure.
So that's for me. If I think of any particular good one, then I'll let you know as we go to. But one thing I do is that prayer for peace, especially when I feel like a bit of unrest, I keep on asking, And then when there's something I did, I remember last month, it was, in December, I remember this verse. Sometimes I feel like my faith is wavering, like I don't have big enough faith, especially because, I don't know, I don't think I'm a New Age Christian. But I remember verses like mustard seed. Like, all I need is a mustard seed of faith. And I recite that because I'm reminding God that my faith is so small. But He promised that all I need is mustard seed. So I keep saying mustard seed, mustard seed. Basically, mustard seed.
And this is what gives
Yeah.
you strength.
Meaning that I don't have to have the big type of faith because God has told me that all I need is just that tiny mustard seed. And as sinner as I am, it's okay. Mustard seed, mustard seed. I keep reminding God of His promises.
Thank you for this.
Thank you.
And who would like to add also to the question about the connection?
All right. Thank you very much. I think thinking about those three words, the collaboration, adaptability, and I think the last one is innovation. For me, there's a picture in my head. If you look behind you and people in front, if you can just look at that tripod, the tripod that they put the camera on. All right, so I will use this as analogy for the three of them. Collaboration is what brings, stability. All right, and the adaptability. So you can say the three of them, they're like the three legs of a tripod. All right, that tripod to have that balance will need those three legs. And for you to actually have balance in life, in business, in career, you need those three things. One, collaboration brings stability. Adaptability brings some level of flexibility because as you are collaborating with people, people have different preferences about life. They have different goals. They have different agendas and all of that. And you need to come together with them. Your ability to adapt, all right, be flexible in relating with them and all of that will help you to move ahead. However, to sustain that collaboration as it is, you need innovation. Innovation brings value. All right. If I'm in a relationship with you over a period of time, if I don't keep, bringing value to you, naturally you will just move on. All right. But one thing, you find yourself in a community of professionals in a space whereby you needed to work with one or two people. One thing you need to keep asking yourself is that how can I keep myself relevant? And that question is the question of innovation. And I define innovation as your ability to keep whatever you do in a perpetual state of improvement. You get that? You have done something yesterday, you're back today, you're asking, how can I make it better? And you are with me today, we are interacting, and tomorrow I'm back again and I'm giving you different perspective. It's going to strengthen that collaboration and it's going to bring more value. And very quickly before I drop the mic on this particular question, collaboration for me is one of the critical, one of the 7 habits of highly effective people. How do I mean? For some of us that we are familiar with the 7 habits of highly effective people, habit 6, which speaks to synergy, all right, says synergize. So it's the habit of effective collaboration. And what that simply means is that when you have 2 plus 2, it gives you 5 or more. All right, it's not just 4. So anytime you want to multiply your influence, multiply your power, multiply whatever it is that you have, your resources, look for somebody that you can collaborate with. And in my short period of time in what I do today, in the last 2 years, I can't overemphasize the kind of value that right collaboration in the right community has actually brought to me. So I think they are very critical attributes that every professional or business person must really have in mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Samson, if you would like to add something.
Okay, also. So I'm going to speak from the angle of business. So many things are happening and everybody have 1 or 2 goals that you want to achieve for the year. But the reality is that if you want to just fast track your milestone, it means that you have to think about not just competing, but to collaborate. So I give a practical example. So I'm an author, so I've written over 30 books. But I realized that in writing, I need to get a printer, get a proofread person, get to market the book and all of that. And then by the time I stopped at my 15th book, I realized that my costs of publishing was getting higher. So I needed to think about how do I collaborate. That's where innovation comes in. Thinking about platforms that takes over, that's part of me spending more. So I just stay on my strength and then leverage on different platforms. That's where you say Amazon coming in, they do all of the work for you, they publish, they distribute, they sell. That's the power of tech. You thinking about how do I collaborate? How do I get my books to countries I've not even gotten to? Right? So what that means is that for every one of us, if you want to fast track our journey and be able to hit the target on time with the kind of milestone we're looking at, you have to think about collaborating with the right set of people, right set of technology platforms that makes work easier for you. Coming to AI, I mean, without most of us that we right now, we is now making it easier for us to be able to use AI to do a lot of things. And then people tell you, oh, you're intelligent. Not that I'm intelligent. I'm just able to leverage, get innovative in what I'm doing, be creative enough for me to be able to use that tech into the powerhouse of me trying to collaborate and achieve results.
I support this because there's an expression also that we say, give what you don't know to expert. Because if you want to do everything alone, you will fail. That's why collaboration comes in place. It's very essential to know your potential and limitation at the same time. And once you acknowledge this, you start collaborating with the right person just to support your point.
Thank
So
you.
now it goes to Shola. What are the key elements of effective collaboration in our personal and professional lives?
Okay, I think the first thing is to collaborate with anybody, you need to first introspect and ask yourself, what value are you bringing to the table? Yeah, once you are able to figure that out, and the value that you bring to the table also is an indication of the kind of value that you can contribute to, the person that you are collaborating with. So that is the very, the very first thing you need to consider. The next thing you need to consider is, what is actually your vision? What are you trying to accomplish? All right, and who are the people that either they have done something, just like what he was saying, and thinking about, I want to, maybe increase the result you are currently achieving now, and therefore you need to think about people of like minds, people that are in the same space with you, or they complement that they have, they have complementary skills, all right, that you don't have, but you need them to be able to move faster or move further, ahead in your career, as it were. So talking about open-mindedness, that is key. And of course, trust is important in collaboration. You can't go into a place to collaborate with people if you don't, trust
But
them.
sometimes you have to take risk, even though you don't know what is the outcome. How
So
do you deal with that?
You need trust. You need also to be trustworthy yourself.
Of course.
And like somebody rightly put it, that it is a better compliment to be trusted than to be loved. Because for you, I may not love you, I may not like you, but if you have value, I need to come in and collaborate with you. So for me, openness is important. And I think effective communication, because that is what will power your relationship and ensure that there is no room for ambiguity, no room for misinterpretation of intention. You are able to spell out exactly what you want, what the other person wants. And again, collaboration is like going into a relationship. And the goal of any relationship is relief. Sorry, did you hear that? The goal of any relationship is relief. All right. If I'm in a relationship with you and you are not, relieving me of my burden as much as I'm also relieving you of your burden, then that is not a relationship. Like some people will say these days, that might just be a situationship. You get that? So for collaboration, you need to know the people that you are going in to collaborate with.
But you agree with me that sometimes you take risks.
You take risks. In fact, everything, life
though
itself.
You don't know the outcome, that if this one is promising you something and you don't know. Speaking of this, I'm going to ask you, because it's related, what are the obstacles to effective collaboration?
I think lack of what we've been discussing since morning, resilience. If you are not resilient, at a slight appearance of something not aligning with your goal, you want to step out.
Of course.
And the next one, which is also what we've been discussing, is about if you are not optimistic, if you don't have the ability to believe and to just trust the person would add value to you, you realize that if you are always suspecting, if you are always second-guessing people in a collaborative relationship or endeavor, definitely it's not going to work.
Of course.
And another thing is that being able to define the boundaries and responsibilities.
Clear communication.
Yeah, when you are not able to define what I should bring to the table, what you are bringing to the table, which again is the opposite of synergy. When there's a compromise, 2 plus 2 gives you 3 or 2 or less. All right, somebody is not pulling his weight, somebody is not bringing all the resources that we agree at the onset that you're going to bring into that relationship. So I think if you don't have that ability to be able to collaborate with people, it simply means that you are not mindful of all these things that I'm talking about. Sure. I hope that makes sense. Thank you.
Thank you. So now the question goes to Adora. How does adaptability enhance creativity, especially in those days that are changing quickly?
Yeah, thank you. So I don't think you can survive in a country like Nigeria if you're not adaptable. I think it was Darwin who said it was Darwin who said it's not the strongest of species that survives, it's the most adaptable to change, okay? I remember my son was talking about mosquito. And I was like, we said, why is mosquito always around? They are very adaptable. We don't have dinosaurs anymore because they can't manage in such a city, right? But you have mosquito because mosquito is always finding its way somewhere, you know? Small hole and it finds its way. So let's look at the role of adaptability. And I'm still going to connect it to resilience, okay? Because we're here, I mean, ultimately, this conference about resilience. And I just want to address what he said about people giving up. Yeah, sometimes when people give up, we say they're not resilient. No, they're not adaptable. That's it. It's not the resilience. And that's why I want people to understand resilience. It's not perseverance. It's not power. It's not strength.
It's acceptance.
Yes, acceptance of your limitations and your strengths. It's also knowing your purpose, because purpose will come in very handy. It is your purpose that gives you resilience.
Exactly.
Okay? When you are not clear on your purpose and you're struggling with someone, go and check how connected it is to your purpose. And I'll just use a personal example of business. Okay? If you know me, maybe very few people here do. I host an annual HR bootcamp conference. I've been doing it for 16 years. Okay? And if there's nothing like it's a testimony of resilience. 2024 edition, maybe not a lot of people know, it was the edition that almost didn't happen. Okay? Why? I was tired. Even people like us that people think are strong, after a while you get tired. You don't know, you're like, you know what? Why am I even doing this thing? And I had every reason not to do it, because if you host events, Steph, or anybody here, a lot of them are not profitable. To make profit in event management, you need very strong sponsors. Okay? Very, very strong sponsors. So if you want the room to be full of people, based on the financial ability of Africans and Nigerians, if you want a product that serves many people, the price has to be low. If you want a product that sells a few people, yes, of course, you can do a high-end luxury product. But when you want impact, because you want it to touch the lives of people, the price has to come down. So a lot of us, so if you focus on tickets, you can never
rely on the revenue.
So, of course, I'm not saying, but I had to link. The only thing that made me say, you know what, and we started very late. Usually, by the beginning of the year, we started preparing for conference. This one, we started late October. Why? Because I wasn't sure. I was like, why am I doing this? For what purpose? I had every reason not to. I looked at I was like, the people, who am I even impacting? Aren't I too old now? Secondly, I was like, it doesn't even make any money. No need. There were just 1,001 reasons. But I kept saying to myself, I need to find the connection. Because if I don't find purpose, I'm not going to continue because it's a waste of my time. And it's a waste of everybody's time. So that was very key. So one thing about resilience is if you want to assess it, you want to test it against purpose and meaning. If it doesn't make meaning, you're not going to be resilient because you will give up. But you can't give up on purpose. You can't, even if you want to.
Sometimes challenges make you stronger.
Yeah.
And actually, this is in the way.
Yeah.
If you like it or you don't like it, challenges are going in your way.
They're going to come.
And this is what it will test your resilience.
Yes.
The more challenges, the more resilient you will be, and the more you will be able to achieve.
Exactly. But if you can't connect it with purpose, you're going to give up. Because at the end of the day, it's not what you're meant to be doing, or it's not really what, then you give up somehow. But anyway, so next, adaptability comes from collaboration. You can't do yourself. So I knew, when I decided, yes, I will go ahead, I knew that this one is not by my power.
Okay.
It's not by my power. So the last conference, so many collaborations. So I've never collaborated as much as I did last year. Jumoke is here. She was our host. I over-collaborated. I called a committee, strategy committee. I was just talking to them. There were so many people, former employees. I had so many people, so many WhatsApp groups, because I knew that if I'm going to succeed this time,
it needs collaboration.
I knew I wasn't going to do it alone. So I went for a meeting with a client, and we were talking about the economic climate. Terrible. Everybody's business, horrible. And he said, what are you doing this year? I said, I'm hosting an annual. He said, how is it going? I said, the registrations are the worst ever. But you know what? I said to him, it always ends well. I don't know how, but at the end of the year, I'll tell you how it went. Honestly, I felt silly because I thought, I'm a consultant. How can I be telling my clients, you know what, the figures look very bleak, but it's going to be okay, and I'll tell you how it went. Anyway, the long and short of the story is that it was the most successful conference.
Because of all the collaboration.
Because of all the
collaboration.
collaborations.
Thank you so much.
It was the most successful. So please, collaboration is very key. Don't say you are strong. You're not strong alone. Everything of significance that is going to happen to you on this earth is going to happen in collaboration with other people. Note that.
Thank you.
Note that.
Now the question goes to Samson. Excuse my pronunciation. I'm getting there. What strategy, tools, and technology can individual and team use to become more flexible in their approach and problem solving?
Okay, so I think first you need to think about owning a personal blog, right? And that's because one of the ways you can spread whatever you're doing is for you to have like a platform where you can share. What happens to most of us is that we are in rented apartments, which I call rented platforms, Facebook, Twitter. The day they lock you out, the day they block your account, you're out of business, you get frustrated. Right, this is technology that are good for us, but the reality is that you have to piggyback. You have to ensure that whatever you're talking about in those platforms come back to where you want people to see all of your narratives. Just like I'm going to an office, I'm trying to do publicity. I'm doing the publicity because of one particular reason. Is that I'm selling a product. I want to come to my office, or so you must have that strategy of connecting wherever you're trying to spread what you're doing in different community back to your base. Now, your base should be your website because you own it. You can do whatever you want to do to it. You can have all of those narratives. Number two is for you to think about the platforms that amplify what you're doing. So instead of you thinking about creating a community, think about collaborating with other people in different community, right? So this is a community that Stephen has brought all of us in. Getting to know more people. So think about how do you partner, how do you work alongside with the existing community of the kind of niche focused people, right? You save yourself a lot of stress, energy, time, and money. Right, so it means that you are working on an existing system. System saves you stress, time, energy, and money. And one of the things I realized, so for instance, I came in from Abeokuta this morning, and there was just a single collaboration for me to see Obasanjo this morning, right? It was just a friend saying, oh, I want to do this, and I said, okay, all my media guys will go with you, right? Not having the intention I was going to see him. And then the moment I got in, it was like knowing somebody that knows somebody, and it was like a connecting factor. Oh, guy has done so many university, this guy has done this, and it was like me being introduced to give me like, so what that means is that if I've not leveraged on all of those platforms in different university, I won't be able to even sign another deal of engagement. That's where the part I always tell people, if your passion becomes a purpose, in no time it becomes a profession, right? So all I was doing was to impact, but not knowing that I was creating engagement of collaboration that now comes back to me to pay. So what I will leave everyone with is that think about your own visibility leveraging on existing platforms. There's a win-win game. You're talking about collaboration. So I can get this all at a deal based on the value I may say I want to give to the person who owns this whore. How are you able to create that balance of value for an exchange of collaboration, for you to have the milestone to have create impact, influence, and income for yourself? Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I will leave it with the rapid questions, so each one can answer. The success of collaboration lies in one word. Can start, Sola.
It lies in you being able to add value to the community. Value. So what do you bring to the table?
Yeah. Totally true. Adora?
Honestly, I was going to say value. But one thing I would say is everyone in this room, don't leave here without getting to know at least 10 people. Okay? The last time I was here, the first USD multi-thousand contract I got was here last year. So I can't forget this venue.
Give them a round
because
of applause.
I came here and I bumped into someone who I knew, but the person never really thought about my connection in that way. So network. Your biggest resource is your network. And for those people who think they're introverts, one of the best networkers I know is an introvert. All he does is he sends me WhatsApp messages from time to time, and I never forget him because I always see his WhatsApp. Another one, introvert, I see his messages every Sunday. I think it's a bit too much, but I can never forget him because anytime anything comes up, that peace of mind. So your network is truly your net worth. I came here with my friend Titi today because she has a plan this year to network more. And she said, Adora, I'm going with you to all your events this year. And I said, I am coming with you to yours.
And always bring the business cards.
Yes, exactly.
My husband tells me that.
Exactly. And every time I go out, honestly, that is the best business funnel you can get. If you stay in your house, nobody's going to know. Platforms, just like he's rightfully said, we need those platforms, and this is a platform. Thank you.
Samson, one word. To become innovative, you should...
Collaborate. Thank you.
Somebody
round of applause.
Thank you. Collaborate. That's it. Collaborate. I mean, that's the word.
Okay.
Yes.
I will give you another one.
Okay.
You already answered.
Okay.
One way to improve your own adaptability is by
building yourself. I mean, thinking beyond you, for you to be able to achieve whatever you want to achieve in life.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
being you. For you. How do they put it?
Inner self.
Do you for you. I can't remember, but there's a word. Be you. Do you for you. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I would like to end this beautiful panel with lovely panelists. Thank you so much for attending.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care.